Right, hello, lovely people. It's that sad time when I've got to do my last video on the Enfield Bear 650. And it is sad because I really got to say I do not want to give this bike back. Do you know, I've absolutely loved having this bike. It might just be the joy of having this lovely sort of early summer weather and, you know, being able to get out in the evenings now and, you know, sort of riding out to little cafes and whatever. And it's absolutely caught the moment for me, this bike. But we must keep things, you know, on the level. We've got to be diplomatic about these things and give you the full facts. So I thought we'd talk about the things that I really don't like about this bike. It's quite a short list, to say the least. And the overriding one, I suppose, at the end of the day, has been the suspension. It has been pretty hard. I suppose I've got used to it. I know the roads around here pretty well. I know what to avoid. I think I said in my other videos that it's not as bad as some of the bikes I've tried in this sort of genre. We know about genres now, don't we? You know, it's not as bad as my Standout, but I still think it's just a bit harsh. I know the rears actually wound as far back. I did have a look the other day. I thought, well, can I take anything off this? And the adjustment is wound as far off as it'll go. So, you know, it's not to the point where it would put me off buying this bike. Put it that way, because I know I could sort it. But you know, it is that thing where I think, oh, I just don't need a bike with that heavy suspension. It's just unnecessary. Pardon me. But that it really is about it. I suppose at the end of the day, yes, it is heavy. You know, we all need, as we get older, we need bikes that are a little bit lighter. And it's quite a lump just to wheel around. And, you know, I know it's not a great deal heavy. There's not a lot of difference between this and the Interceptor. I suppose with the Interceptor, the difference is you've got a different profile on the tyres. That makes a little bit of difference. And it's a little bit lower. So, you know, with the weight a little bit higher on this bike, it just makes it a little bit harder to wheel around. And I just found that quite noticeable and slightly unpleasant. But, you know, after that, basically, you know, everything's pretty good. So, with that, what about the good points? There's a couple of bits I really wanted to say about this bike. They're little things. Well, there's one little thing which becomes a huge thing on a bike like this, on any bike. And Enfield are the worst for everybody on this sort of stuff. And that's side stands. But I'd like to report that this is the best side stand on any Enfield I've ever ridden and on any bike I've ever ridden. And I'll show you why. Watch this. That's amazing. Well done, Royal Enfield. It's the actual position of the actual bar, or the kick out, if you like, on the side stand, and the position of it. It is so easy to get on the side stand. It is so natural for the foot position to kick it down and get the side stand out. It is fantastic. It's at the right angle. It's got a big enough foot on it. We've been out on when I was off road, and we've been in some fields and all sorts of places, because I've done a lot of miles on this bike, and I've not had a problem with it at all. It is the best side stand of any bike I've ever ridden. It is so easy to get to. I know that seems like a small point, but you know, those little things become a bloody pain in the butt when it's not right. So I suppose the other big thing then is looks. And do you know, I cannot fault the looks of this bike. I know that I've seen, you know, when you see the picture of these things in the magazines and all the rest of it, and other YouTube videos, you think, oh, that's a good looking bike. But it's It's like anything. Sometimes it's just one colour that really sets these things off, and this white and green is just magic. There's something the way that they've brought out, and I said this on when I did my off-roading, with the way they brought the colour of the frame into the whole cosmetic of the bike, and they made it a huge feature of it. And I think on these, they've just got it just right. Because there were times when we've been out, you know, me and Karen have been out for rides. We have some lovely warm evenings, haven't we, sunny evenings, and we've been out some of these little country spots. Had a nice alcohol-free beer. I said I was talking about those. And, you know, we parked this at a particular place in Kirkford, I remember. And I remember I could see the bike on the road. And it was just part of this lovely little Sussex village. And everything was in blossom and everything. And do you know what? It was just superb. The looks of this bike are just magic. And, you know, it's those things. I look at it and I just think it's, for the moment now, for the moment I've captured these last 2 weeks, to be with this bike at this point and riding it around, I can't think of anything I'd rather be on. None of my bikes that I would choose to ride over this at the moment. I just think it's stunning, absolutely stunning. The other thing which I think is phenomenal about this bike is the screen. Now again, some people brought up in the comments, said, I want the analog clocks on it. And do you know what? I actually, when I rode the Gary's Interceptor, when I did the comparisons between the two, and I love the Interceptor, do you know, I wouldn't swap them. I wouldn't swap them. I think on this bike, I just think this clock is so good. It is so clear. I think the way it operates, when you have it in what they sort of the analog sort of setting, with you got the speed in digital numbers, and you got the rev counter, big rev counter on the outside, you got the fuel gauge on the inside. It's so damn clear. It's a magic screen. And sometimes you need that, don't you? You just need that clarity of screen. And it's a good size. And I don't think the Interceptor clocks would work on this so well. I prefer this setup. Because the other thing is, obviously, you've got the sat-nav. So you can link it to your phone and have Google Maps on here through the Enfield app, which is absolutely fine. And I think it means you don't have to have one of these, you know, which I don't think work on these bikes quite so much. For me anyway, you know, you get one of the Archie screens or whatever it is, which are great. But I like the fact that I don't have to clutter that up. I can keep it as it was intended with that screen on there. So, yeah, and it gives it that sort of ability to go on a bit of a tour or an adventure, what you want to do, without too much bit. It's a sort of bike where you just throw a roll bag on the back, didn't you, with a few clothes and a toothbrush, and then you go off somewhere. And I just think I think it's perfect for that. And as I say again, at these couple of weeks where we've had this lovely weather, it's just been the most perfect companion. And in that, the other thing I want to say about this bike is how easy it is to ride. You know, nothing felt unfamiliar. There's nothing complex about this bike. The switchgear and everything is beautifully simple. And I think that's the thing with bikes like this. There's that. And it's something that I like about bikes, is that you have that simplicity, and I think that's where Enfield score so highly. You know, it's not machine gunned with loads of buttons and things that I don't really care about, to be honest with you. I've got ABS, you know, stop, start, indicators, lights, dip, and all the rest of it. The controls for the dash, I've got 3 buttons for those. I've got the toggle switch. You know, you get a setting and you stick to it, didn't you, really? I can scroll through. What I like about it is I can scroll through and get the how many miles left in the tank and stuff like that, which is a point I wanted to bring up. These are not the most economical bikes, and I dare say someone's going to argue with me about that, because I seem to think it was a similar thing with my Interceptor, that they're not the most frugal thing. You know, they're not juicy, but I think as you put some miles on this bike, because we're still quite low mileage, it will probably improve. I certainly know when I brought it back from Silverstone that it, you could see the fuel gauge going down. And that's just one of those things, isn't it? It's a twin, it's a good sized twin. It's a heavy bike. You sit on it, it's even heavier. You know, you've got to lug it around. And I think that's the only issue with some of these bikes. They're not as economical as you'd like. It's okay if you're just, you know, plonking around, you know, doing 40 miles an hour. But I don't really want to do that on this bike. I want to sort of, you know, give it a little bit, because I can use all the power. I can use that sort of, you know, just under 50 horsepower. I can use all of that, and I want to do that. So, yes, not the most frugal bike, but I do like the fuel gauge on here, because although it looks like it's in big increments, they go down gradually. Each big increment has got smaller increments in it, if that makes sense. So, you know, it's pretty good, but you can see it going down. So, I suppose that's to sum up the bike. Would I recommend anybody buy one? Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. I think if you want a fantastic, if you're sort of person who likes to ride through a sort of riding season, spring, summer, autumn, I think this is magic. I think this is magic. If you like just popping out to little places just to enjoy a ride, sit down, you know, have a Coca-Cola and just look at your bike, have a chat, and ride. It's just, I don't think there's anything to match it on the market for the price. I really don't. And I don't think you'd be disappointed. But if you are like me, then you might want to do something about the suspension if the road's a little bit bumpy, because it can catch you out. Not in a dangerous way, but just in a orthopedic way. I think the colours are great. I think you've got good backup with dealerships at the moment, and I know that Enfield are bringing more dealers in there. What they're doing, they're bringing service centres in, and actually we've had a new one open up in Chichester, so that saves me a lot of aggravation. And I think you can order the bikes through the service centres. I get the impression you can do that. So that's good. Servicing is cheap. I think Enfield are probably about the cheapest you can do servicing. And once you're out of warranty and you're happy with that, you know, self-servicing on these bikes is a doddle. Now, you don't get a centre stand on this, so you're going to have to, you know, work that out. But parts are cheap. Accessories are damn cheap. They're so cheap. You know, all the stuff from India, it's here in about 5 days quicker than we can get it in the UK. And it's cheap. It's cheap. I've had so many parts from India for all my Enfields. So that's it, really. You know, I've done all sorts of roads on this. What have I done? I've been green laning on it. I've done motorway, lapped it up. It's a good motorway bike. There was no issue. I wasn't getting buffeted around without the screen. I actually found it a very comfortable motorway cruiser. Keeping up 70 miles an hour, no problem at all. And I didn't feel as if I was lacking any power. We've done ride-outs, we've done evening riding, rough roads, off-road, all that sort of stuff. And it's swallowed it all up without any problem whatsoever. And that's all I can say about it, really. I just think it's been a joy to have. And I'm really going to miss it. I'm down a really lumpy road now you can hear the suspension in my voice. It's Liverpool. It's the first world problem, isn't it? But apart from that, you know, it's just been fantastic. I know I'm gushing a little bit, but I think when you get a bike which just really makes you feel good, you really want to get out on it. You know, all I've got to do is turn the key, flick the button, and off she goes. And I have no fear about the components or anything. I'm going to break something. Nothing's fragile on this bike. You know, you get a feeling with most Enfields, they're built like tanks. But they got a bit more finesse than that. And this has got all that. This has got absolutely, and so many people have been looked at this bike. When I've come up to petrol stations and the rest of it, sort of looked at it and commented on it, which is really nice. You know, it sort of makes you feel good about the bike. Does you think, oh yeah, people like this bike. I like this bike. You know, and you realise, yeah, it does look good. You know, it's the sort of bike people would have if they saw it and they weren't riding it. They think, oh yeah, that would make me go riding. I wouldn't want a bike like that. So there we are. The Royal Enfield Bear 650. It's a bike I don't really want to give back. Maybe I should run off to the hills. It's a bit like the Ducati I had. Maybe I should just run off to the hills with it. Do you think they'll notice? They had loads of them there when I picked this up. They had loads of bears. They won't notice it for another few weeks, will they? Love the sound of the engine and the overrun. I still think this 650 twin is still one of the best on the road. I really do. For reliability, sound, power, and everything else, I think it's an awesome engine. I really do. But there we are. That's the end. The end of the Bear for me. Maybe one day I'll get one. When some more second-hand ones come up and I'm running low on bikes. What it has made me do is made me think that I've really got to get my W650 finished. And now the new tyres are on. As soon as this goes back, the Meteor comes back. The Meteor has been sold. So there's my space. And then the Kawasaki comes back to me because that's his storage while this was here and all the rest of it. And because Billy's were doing the tyres. And then I can go at it with my angle grinder and my spray cans. Because I want a scrambler. I want this style of bike. And now I know this is the blueprint that I want. This is the blueprint. If I could get anywhere near this, then I think I've got the bike that I want. I really do. The only advantage of the W650, it's got a kickstart. So I can enjoy it. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the episodes I've done on the Bear, and that you know, I think if you're thinking about one, I think you should get a ride on one, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. Right, thanks for Royal Enfield for lending me the bike. It's much appreciated. It will be coming back in one piece and not damaged at all. Right, look after yourself, everybody, and I'll see you next time.